Kia ora e te whānau, no mai haere mai. Welcome to Kirikiriroa Hamilton for the opening match of the first day of the 2025 New Zealand Mixed Ultimate Championships Division 2. We are well underway in this early game between Morrinsville Ultimate playing out of the Jersey cow coloured shirts against Rotorua in the dark maroon. My name is Blair Munro.
And I'm Lucy Henner.
And it is a phenomenal opportunity to be here to bring you the opening stages of this matches. Now, Rotorua have possession at the moment. The score is currently 1-0, so just before our stream started, these teams were already off to the races. A nice early sequence saw Morrinsville put away a point. Some great body on the line control there. Keeping the disc in hands. Cole marking, a lot of aggressive pressure. Just outside the hands of Edmund's going to generate a turnover, so Morrinsville with an opportunity now to push back the other way, put their second point on the board. Franson to pick up and initiate. Setting up in a vertical stack or a kind of mixed horizontal. Looks like there's a bit of a transition there. So 3 of their disc handlers in the upfield space. Dewhurst putting it through. Finds an open middle. Working the near sideline now. Dewhurst puts it up. A lot of fade, but well read and well received. That is going to put Morrinsville's second point on the board. Now, Lucy, you've got a little bit of experience behind the microphone, but maybe not so much behind the disc. Talk to us about what's brought you to join us in the commentary booth and learn a little bit about Ultimate today.
Yeah, awesome. So my son is playing for Morrinsville Intermediate and is just loving Ultimate Frisbee. And the more he plays, the more we watch. And yeah, we're hometown of Morrinsville, so it's been awesome to come over and watch these guys and see how the these adults play. This is a really exciting sport. I'm really loving learning all about Ultimate and all the different ways that they do things. It's fantastic.
Absolutely, and I mean Tony Franson, who's also playing the role of our tournament director for this the divisional championships, has done such a great job in really supporting and establishing a really solid base for Ultimate in Morrinsville, which is fantastic. So there's no question as to which way your bias lies. But Morrinsville currently up by 2. They're going to be setting out to come out on defense yet again. It's going to be Hamish Furness, a New Zealand icon within the context of Ultimate with the disc to set things off for the third point of the game. Nice long pull reaching deep into the end zone for Rotorua. So a long field ahead of them if they want to put a point on the board, making their mark on this game. Nice leading pass. Maunda on defense. Nice and aggressive. Manages to close out that lane. The disc goes back towards the midfield. A quick 1-2 off back to Benedicto. More give-go work. We're seeing some great movement initiated by number 12 for Rotorua. And then a long shot through. Bit of a touch on the dive is not going to be enough.
Beautiful.
And that puts Rotorua on the board back within 1. Our score is 2-1. Morrinsville over Rotorua at the moment.
Here's this replay coming through. You can see them reading that disc where they need it to go. All the signals running in. Perfect hands.
Great tempo as well that we're seeing. A lot of movement. Big play. Not quite going to be enough. A full body catch is going to get it on the boards for Rotorua. And so one of my favorite things about Ultimate Lucy is the fact that we can, and in this case we've set up an entire divisional championship for it to play as a mixed gender sport. So where male matching and female matching players can come together and compete as equals. Really, really great to see. And I think that one of the things that Rotorua was doing really, really well throughout that entire position is they're making use of all of their players. It doesn't really matter who's open, can I get them the disc, can we keep it moving? Rory Carroll with a great little run through at the moment, that quick one catch and then immediately offloading to allow Benedicto to change that direction and really dictate the sort of, I guess, position on the field where the disc was most vulnerable, or where the end zone was most vulnerable. So we're going to see some Rotorua defense now.
100%. I love that the sport is mixed in a lot of these games, and that everyone is included, and it's about finding position and really zoning in on your skills as well. Here we go.
Nice high pull, touches round about 2/3 of the way down the field. Ward with the disc, one of the captains for the University of Waikato's Tertiary Ultimate Championships team, goes back to Dewhurst, near sideline now. Rowlingson, back to Dewhurst again. Big shot, a laser throw, looking to repeat the same sequence as before, and Morrinsville are now 3 up over Rotorua's 1.
Another lovely play. Great to see everyone involved. The Twins having a good old time there.
I think that's one of the most demoralizing things to see Twins on the opposing team, because it's so easy to lose track of who you're actually supposed to be marking. Wait, I thought you were over here, and then you turn back and they are, and then you realize that you've just been absolutely cooked up and down the field.
100%, 100%. Yeah. I love when I've come into Ultimate to see the control over the disc. When my son started, that was one thing I was really amazed about, is how much control and accuracy these players can put on the disc, and it's just fantastic to see that curve and get exactly where they need it to go.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about Ultimate, exactly as you're saying, is that it has a very, very high skill ceiling. In terms of entry to the sport, if you're coming in as a sort of a new player, you're looking to learn a few things, all you need is a decent pair of shoes to run around in and a disc, and you can sit and spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour out in a field or a park somewhere just practicing those skills. And then here at Division 2 Championships, we're getting to see what the fruits of that skill development look like. We're seeing some really, really precise throws. Those 2 long shots from Alex Dewhurst to put those scores on the board for Morrinsville in particular, just really clean and precise. Franson with the pull to kick things off for the defense for the next point of the game. Benedicto to initiate, goes to Carroll early. Swings back to centre field, trying to use the width now, so we're setting up with downfielders in a horizontal line across the field. Pistoning up and down, trying to create opportunities. The disc still getting pushed back. Finally we break through, but it tips off the hands.
Unlucky.
And so it's a turnover here. Kate Franson to pick up and initiate. Supported in the upfield by Ward. Puts a shot up at Blaze over a little early, but comes into the body, bounces off. It's no go. Rotorua puts it up long. Looking for the big sprint. Has he got it? Oh, not enough juice on the goose for that one. But a great territorial play by Benedicto nonetheless, right? It gives Morrinsville Morrinsville does give them a long opportunity to push back the other way. We can see as well they're changing the way they're playing defense now. They've shifted into a zone defense, so rather than looking at those one-on-one matchups, they're really trying to isolate space. But it's not going to stop that movement of the disc back to Caitlin Ward, back through to Franson, picking apart the middle of that zone. And upside down over the top, off the hands of Cole. It's going to give Rotorua an opportunity. Benedicto, last in the pack, he's going to shoot it. There it is. Brought down for a second Rotorua score. And I think that's really what he was looking for. That long option just to eat up as much of the field as possible, put Morrinsville a little on the back foot, and then come down with a different defensive structure that in this case forced that overhand throw, or that upside down over the top throw. That was, it's a tough one to catch, and that was what generated that turnover. I think he kind of planned that out from the very beginning.
Yeah. It was definitely great defense by Rotorua there, and then definitely getting that turnover just was a icing on the cake, and then finishing it off with that beautiful point. Beautiful. Lovely play.
And so Rotorua to come out on defense now, hoping to tie up the game.
Another great thing that I love about Ultimate is the mixing of the teams when you come for tournaments. So it's really cool that I've seen a lot of these players. Morrinsville's got the disc now. Alex Dewhurst looking there.
Rollingson catching the reset. Still gaining a few yards nice and patiently. We're seeing that same zone defense again from Rotorua. Left hand up the far side, decides to come back to the midfield. Puts a shot up, a little bit of an inside. There was a narrow window, but there's an opportunity here for Rotorua to generate a turn. What a good read on that desk. Quick laser show through, back to Edmonds. Some good quarterbacking as he goes across to Coburn instead. Continues to push towards that far sideline. Working the sideline. Not going to get into the hands. And they're going to call that a turnover. Dewhurst to pick up and initiate for Morrinsville. There's not much developing in that downfield space for him, so he's not got many opportunities to use that long shot that he's put up so many times this game already. Fires inside, a little bit overcooked on that one. It's going to give the disc back to Rotorua with an opportunity to tie the game as they are working in their own offensive half now.
There's a slight breeze here in Hamilton, Kirikiriroa today, so I think they have to keep that in mind when they're playing near that sideline.
Coburn sealed out as a reset by Dewhurst. Decides to work upfield instead. Spears has it. Intercepted.
Let's see if Morrinsville can finish it off, make that turnover valuable.
Dewhurst with a low drive. Found. Continued. There it is. Morrinsville up by 1. The score is now 4-2 over Rotorua.
And we're playing with 7 on each half for players. Does that change per division or just...
No, that's a great question. So typically outdoors will be played with 7 aside. And just as we've talked a little bit about it being a mixed sport, as of the most recent World Flying Disc Federation rule set, I believe, the alternating gender pattern. So we'll have 4 of one gender match and then 3 of the other. And then every 2 points they swap.
Yeah, nice.
So if we have, say, 4 female matching players on the field and 3 male, they'll play that point, they'll play the same gender structure, and then the next point they'll go to 4 male matching, 3 female matching. And they'll cycle back and forth between those. So it's a really great opportunity to create a lot of parity in terms of playing time. Previously, what they used to do, they'd have an end where the team playing out of that end zone, they got to dictate the gender. And
right.
Sometimes it would be 4 males, 3 females, sometimes it would be 5 and 2. And so it didn't really give our female matching players maybe as much playing time as they deserved. And so it's a really welcome change, and I think teams have done a really, really good job of integrating and even incorporating that change into the way they structure their offenses and defenses.
100%.
Carroll puts it up the sideline, finds Mishkov, continues through, but it's going to be an opportunity for Morrinsville here. And a reminder for the folks watching at home that we are playing a game to, I'll double check this, but I believe we're playing to 13 with a 75-minute time cap. What that means is we'll take a half-time break when the first team hits 7 points. So 7 being a rounded up half of 13. And we're going to see another turnover. Rotorua, it's number 12, Benedicto to pick up and initiate. Mishkov streaking deep. decides to be looked off in favour of a nice reset to Edmonds. Threads through, Mishkov again. Wide open, but it's a little bit skew whiff, not enough. What a read. Well fielded. Rotorua back within 1 point, 20 minutes into our game. We're going to see again a cold drop. It's going to generate the turn. Benedicto walking up. We can see number 99 streaking towards the right-hand side of the screen now. Decides to be looked off. Great defensive pressure from Furness was enough to stop that immediate option.
Unlucky, eh? That disc is a slight damp. The ground has been beautiful sunny day here, so we've got a little bit of moisture on the field, which I think is just playing onto the disc and can just mean it becomes a little bit slippery at times.
Now, every single time the disc touches the ground, it's picking up a little bit of moisture. You might even see some players use the hem of their shirt to try and dry things off a bit before they initiate. But we'll see this one here. Mishkov puts it up. It's got a high angle on it. A great read from the offense there. Big play by the defense trying to get up and underneath it, but it wasn't enough to keep Rotorua within 1. And there's the pull. Touching down with a little bit of edge on our near sideline. Furness to pick up. Another horizontal stack that we're seeing against a zone defense from Rotorua, trying to arrest Morrinsville's momentum. Goes to Franson. Furness with a dive. Keeps it in hand. Franson and Furness chipping away through, trying not to give up their lead, trying to claw things back. That's Ward on the far sideline. Threading through to the middle, Rowlingson. Back to Furness. The zone defense slowly giving up yards. They're not applying a huge amount of pressure at the moment. It's a lot of footwork for not a lot of return, threading through. Not quite in bounds. Priestley right on the doorstep. Goes wide. Manages to keep it secure. Back to Furness, to Franson again. Chipping through. There it is. Priestley for the score. Morrinsville to go 5 over Rotorua 3. Some really good patience on display there from Morrinsville. I think Rotorua had a great idea with that zone defense, but they maybe weren't applying enough pressure to that middle space. When we watch the sequence here, we're going to see Ward looks back, resets through to Furness, goes across to Franson, and there's no one really pressuring that middle space. That early disc fake pulls the defense out of position. Furness, with a couple of steps, jumps through and is able to continue through. And that was kind of emblematic, I think, of a lot of the structure that they were using against that zone defense. So hopefully Rotorua will be able to take something away from that. Maybe have the middle player in that zone just pressure that space. If all of the work is coming from the upfield, those handlers are running back through to take, just a few meters at a time. Having a player dedicated to stopping that might see a huge swing in momentum throughout the rest of this match. But we're going to take a little bit of a halftime break. We're seeing Morrinsville on our screen at the moment with a huddle. Rotorua in the far side. And so we'll be back very, very briefly for the conclusion of the first half. My name is Blair Monroe.
And I'm Lucy Henner.
And we'll be back very soon.
together. We're all in this together. We may not be able to completely change the landscape, but what we can do is provide our little support for grassroots projects that are making a profound impact. And what we know is that when we make a profound impact in our own backyards, in our own communities, it ripples across the world. If we all looked in our own backyards to make that change there, then the world really does become a better place, and that's what we're committed to achieving.
He's in a great spot. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finny, he's done it.
Welcome back, folks. We're about to kick things off again in this phenomenal match we've got between Morrinsville and Rotorua. Morrinsville going to start off this next point on defense. Now, we've had a little bit of insight from our wonderful analyst here in the booth, Tim. Even though the score seems a little bit lopsided, teams are trading. The very first point of the game, there was an early break. Other than that, these teams are keeping pace with one another incredibly well. Before we get into things, though, a huge thank you to our sponsors, the University of Waikato, on whose fields we are playing this phenomenal game, and also to the Well Energy Trust. They electrify your homes while we electrify your screens. My name is Blim and I'm joined by Lucy Henna. And just what a phenomenal way to start off a weekend.
Oh, it sure is. Beautiful sunshine here in Kirikiroa and some great ultimate frisbee happening. It's an absolute privilege to be here with you guys today.
And so Ward, who's done some really great work in the midfield for Morrinsville to pick up and initiate the defense with a big pull that looks like it's going to swing out of bounds. Going to just about hit us here in the booth. We here at ULTI.TV, we refuse to be anything other than part of the action, folks. Benedicto, number 12 for Rotorua, is going to pick up and initiate round about the halfway line. And we're seeing a Morrinsville zone now. Benedicto, who's been doing so much give-and-go work, some really fast handler movement to initiate the offense for Rotorua, still doing the same thing, but the zone is looking to essentially clamp him down, applying a lot of pressure. There's some small movements that are still happening. They're maintaining possession, doing really, really well. Trying to give some signals, getting Carroll into a more advantageous position. It comes in low, off the hands. Beamish not able to keep that one for Rotorua. It's going to give Morrinsville a great opportunity here.
That breeze is picking up here, so they're playing a little bit differently, I think, in this half compared to that first round.
So for the folks watching at home, the breeze is coming predominantly from the right-hand side of your screen towards the left. So it's at Morrinsville's back at the moment. That gives them a little bit of an advantage with some of their long shots. The disc will carry a little bit further than they might expect. Dewhurst has it marked off by Carroll, pushes through to the midfield, finds Ward to the surprise of very few. Quick 1-2 off McCoy, goes back to Dewhurst. Laser show straight through to Franson. Not quite in. Can he finish it here? An explosive step from McCoy. There's it, gonna do it. Oh, good grief. The foot speed on that boy. Looks like he was trying to outrun his own shadow, for goodness sake. That's going to put Morrinsville up to 6 points. And so we've just had it confirmed that our games during the first round of pool play today are going to be to 13. So once the first team hits a score of 7, we'll take a half-time break. I misspoke earlier. Meant to say a timeout. But hey, consistency. And speaking of consistency, some really, really good quality ultimate on display for you at the moment, folks. Some really nice aggression from Morrinsville as well. Tempered well with patience. Rotorua's defense, that zone structure is going to do a lot of work for them, especially if they have a turnover in this point. They'll have the wind at their backs. It helps with a zone defense. But there are still those holes that are able to be exploited by some of the more experienced Morrinsville players. Nice long pull. Touching down, skims off the foot, picked up by Benedicto to Coburn, back to Benedicto, going for the 1-2s, pushing towards that far sideline. One of the things that our analyst Tim did mention is that Rotorua probably need to do a really good job of keeping the disc away from the sidelines, considering how oppressive some of that Morrinsville defense can be. Working through the middle of the field looks like it's going to be a little bit more advantageous for them, gives them a few more opportunities to keep the disc moving. If you can keep the disc moving, you can keep the defense on the back foot, and that's how you break through. So this is a great opportunity, though, for Rotorua, as we talked about their zone defense with the wind slightly at their backs. It's going to put a little bit of pressure on Morrinsville. We'll see how that shapes up here. Dewhurst with a lot of coverage, manages to get the disc away to Cole. Back to Dewhurst. Working that far sideline, finds Furness. Chips through. And again. Nice and wide. Hine around to Simon Cole. Manages to shift the zone defense, opening up that reset through to Furness, who's off and away with it. Threading through. Aggressive take. Well done by Priestley to keep that one, despite the bid from Benedicto. Back to Dewhurst and Priestley again. Puts it up. It's blading over early. Not quite recovered. Just the opportunity Rotorua need.
Get some movement. I love how the teams talk to each other throughout the game, constantly telling each other where to go, where they need to be, who's marking who. It's great to see the communication between everybody and just making sure that everyone's doing what they need so that we can all get the team result.
Spears opening up the defense to allow Benedicto to chip one through. Collingwood open, looked off in favour of a reset to Benedicto. Coburn available as an opportunity, tries for the high release. Flick forehand, it doesn't come away. Furness goes to Cole. Morrinsville pushing back the other way. It's turning early. Big bid, not going to be enough.
Look at that throw. So close.
Just that extra half second before release to make sure everything was lined up the way you needed it. That would have been a score, and it would have been a Morrinsville half. But we're back with the disc in the hands of Rotorua. It's Benedicto again.
There's those hand signals again, getting players to where you need them to be.
Manages to get away with that high release this time. A nice break reset. Spears trying to look for the downfield. There's an unmarked Collingwood. Finally gets it via Kersey. To Coburn now. Collingwood alone in the midfield. Spears pressuring for the reset. Pulling the defense nice and tight. Beautiful little tip by Morrinsville, and they're off and away.
Fast hands.
Beautiful take. And that is going to bring Morrinsville to 7 points. So having taken half time, the momentum swinging a little more heavily in favour of Morrinsville towards the later stages of that half, but a phenomenal way to open this match. Rotorua definitely still in it. While there's a big advantage in taking half and coming out ahead, Rotorua still have a great opportunity here. But we will be back relatively soon with the exciting conclusion of this match in just a few moments. My name is Blair Monroe.
And I am Lucy Henner.
And we are here with ULTI.TV at the New Zealand 2025 Division 2 Mixed Ultimate Championships in Kirikiriroa, Hamilton. Thank you for watching. We'll be back very soon. And folks, we are back for the second half of the opening match for the 2025 New Zealand Mixed Ultimate Championships Division 2 here in Kirikiriroa, Hamilton. My name is Glenn Monroe.
And I'm Lucy Henna.
What a pleasure it is to be here with the support of Waikato University, Well Energy Trusts, and our other sponsors to bring you this fantastic tournament now. Morrinsville having taken half, and they are in such a good position to consolidate their lead because they're starting the second half on offense. They get the disc, they do not have to work for it, they get to just lock right in and see if they can widen that lead even further. Franson to Franson. The very heart of Morrinsville Ultimate on the field at the moment, driving things. It's Dewhurst with the disc. We're seeing that Rotorua zone, the window at their backs. It is to their advantage. But it is just hard to stop the self-proclaimed cream of the country from doing what they want to do when they can get that engine going. Resets to Franson. Chips through the middle, baiting that far sideline push, getting the defense out of position. Big fake to get a bite from the defense. Dewhurst closed off by Edmonds. The low shot goes through and it's going to give the disc to Rotorua. This is what they needed.
This puts the excitement back in it. Here we go, let's see.
Benedicto well within his shooting range. Decides to reset off to Carroll. Back to Benedicto to keep that stall count low. Scuba over the top. Edmonds avoiding contact. Great work. Body awareness there by Franson. Laser show to the far sideline for Carroll. Chips it up. Benedicto just outside of the end zone. He's going to rip that other scuba again. Decides to reholster it. Carroll, there is a free reset, giving up a few yards for a better angle on this end zone. Benedicto trying to signal to his downfield teammates what he's looking for. Nice and through to the bottom. Condiment for the score. Rotorua back within 3.
Watching the replay now. You see him signaling where he needs them to go.
Edmonds trying to make himself available as a reset, but it's the straight shot right through.
And there it is. Just like that.
Oh, easy as ABC. So Morrinsville now to come out on offense yet again. A great break there by Rotorua, starting the point on defense, generating a turn and managing to close it out. A few more of those are what is going to be needed to keep them in the game.
Rotorua having those conversations there. How they're going to play, what style, how are they going to set up that defence on their attacking zones, making sure they're pushing Morrinsville to the absolute defensive positions and making their cuts. Here we go.
Early with a bit of rolls, going to carry it into the far half for Rotorua. Furnace to Cole. We're seeing that same zone defense, but the wind are at Morrinsville's back this time. Pushing through, far sideline for Priestley. Back through to Furnace. Cole's available as support. And what's the next option for Morrinsville? We're seeing a lot of unutilized space on the near sideline.
Morrinsville with a few junior players on there today, trying to get them a bit of experience as they continue their skills and grow the sport throughout Morrinsville. It's fantastic. They were playing over in Kaddy yesterday in a tournament, got a couple of games in before an unfortunate lockdown over there, but great for these younger ones. Look at that, beautiful.
Yeah, fantastic work there by Furnace with the scuba over the top to Laurie, I believe, to put Morrinsville on 8.
Watch that replay. Up and over. Defence right there. Nice defence by Rotorua. Still marking up, not giving them as much time as they need, so that's fantastic. This is our Morrinsville girls here stepping up from Morrinsville College into this. So there's our experienced players just giving them a little bit of guidance.
So as we've talked a little bit about before, Lucy, as well, where we have 4 of one gender matching player, that's the gender responsible for the pull or the initiation. So one of the benefits that we're starting to see as we have that sort of 4-3 swing throughout the game is we're seeing a lot of our female matching players get a lot more time on the disc, playing the pulls to start everything off, and we're seeing how that sort of integrates into the strategies that are being put in place as well. Really good to see as well that youth development being given the opportunity to get that experience at a high competitive level.
100%.
Morrinsville with an intercept, putting it through. Oh, Edmonds managing to get a bit of a touch there. Back to Benedicto. Rotorua, big rip, big fake. Chips through. Leading pass. Dewhurst able to get it. A great play there, I think, recognising that there was a little bit of miscommunication between the Rotorua players. But we're going back the other way. Collingwood with the big shutdown. Right, turnover here for Morrinsville.
Alex Juhus there, going to get the disc, giving some signals where he wants everyone to be. In for the run, not quite there. Let's see if they can get this. Yeah.
Oh, not quite. Reaching overhead for the cleanup, just doesn't come away with it.
And this is the experience that these younger players need. Just that extra pressure on them at this level, that experience. It's really fantastic to get as much experience on the field as you can. Let's see what Rotorua can do here.
Big fakes, trying to get a bite out of the defense, goes back around, huge bid's not going to be enough. Benedicto puts it up. Oh, I don't know. Oh, is that coming back? Oh, no.
Unlucky for Rotorua. That would have been a beautiful play. Here we go.
Yeah, and that's one of the things when you've got like an athletic player like Dewhurst, making those big plays can make a huge difference, but it can also leave a player out of position. And that was what allowed that big channel for Benedicto to put that big shot up. Now, it didn't come away with it, but it's first game of the day. As they start to dial those in, we don't know how that's going to shape up in game 2, game 3, game 4.
Definitely. Learning from all of these things, and we can take them forward to the next games.
It's the ambition. Working up the line. McCoy hot stepping into the deep space. It's turning over too early. Shut down by the Rotorua defense.
Great play there from Rotorua. Beautiful. Just being in front, making sure you're reading that disc. I
wonder just if Dewhurst is maybe overcompensating for playing into the wind a little.
Yes.
Those discs coming in a little bit low. We've seen a timeout called. We're right on the Rotorua defensive end zone. They've got possession. They've got a long field ahead of them. A timeout being called there gives an opportunity for Rotorua to set something up to push themselves out of that end zone, but it also allows Morrinsville to change the way that they're playing defense here. If they can apply a huge amount of pressure on this disc here, they can generate a turnover and hopefully walk into an easy score.
Yes, for sure. It'll be interesting how they come back and how everyone resets to after this timeout, see how the disc moves and where people start to move into those positions. Are they going to change something up? Let's see. So, one thing I've really enjoyed about watching and learning about Ultimate is the setups and the different ways of play within the game, and how different teams just do different styles. It's, great to see.
Yeah, one of the things that and throughout the course of the weekend, as you continue to join us in the booth, you'll start to see a lot more, and you'll hopefully recognise there are a lot of sort of common themes, and each team kind of puts their own little twist on it. Right. So, for example, the way that we talk about zone defense, we've used the term zone kind of nebulously, but a lot of the zone that we're seeing is about a 2-3-2 zone. So we've got 7 players on the field. We have 2 up close to the disc. We have 3 in a wall behind them. And then there's 2 players in the defensive space far in the downfield, kind of patrolling for any long options that they can close down and generate turnovers from there. There are a bunch of other different zones that we're likely to see, depending on how the wind changes as well. If we start getting a more aggressive cross breeze as opposed to our upwind, downwind that we're seeing at the moment, that's going to change the style of zone that we're likely to see to allow teams to capitalize on it.
Definitely. That wind makes such a big impact in Ultimate, and it's something you have to really take into consideration when you're on the field, for sure.
So Morrinsville are going to be first to break the huddle. I believe that was a call of team sport. It'll be interesting to see how that manifests throughout the rest of this half. I think it's a great mentality to bring in with regards to the way that Morrinsville are playing. They're using a lot of their players really, really well. There are a few names who are popping up sort of a little bit more often, where there are players who are playing sort of a very dominant role in that handler space, but they're doing their best to make sure that people are getting involved, people are playing the disc. I think the Rotorua are doing a really great job of evenly distributing. A lot of that work is coming through their number 12, Benedicto, who's doing a lot of work, but they're still playing off a lot of the other players. almost like if you think about him as the center of a web. And so the disc is coming back to him a lot, but he's also doing a good job of distributing it. In fact, I think a lot of their shots, a lot of their sort of early scores were made by players that he'd set up for success without having to sort of be that kind of glory hog himself. I think we've only seen that one assist of his, that inside low shot for the score towards the end of that first half. Big option goes up. Easily read by Morrinsville's defense.
Unlucky for Rotorua there. They had a beautiful setup in that first set and just couldn't quite get the disc to where they needed it to go. So they'll be on hard defense here to try and get that back.
Dewhurst and Benedicto. It's actually quite a good matchup to see as well, which I quite like.
Agree. Yeah, the athletic ability in both of them is just outstanding.
Emma Austin trying to cut in to give some opportunities. Goes to McCoy. Dewhurst puts it up. It's a little higher this time. There's a little bit more float. Time to run underneath it. Two hands. Great work by number 10 for Morrinsville, Daniel McCoy, to pull that one down. Morrinsville at 9 over Rotorua's 4.
They'll come back. Always like an underdog story, so as much as I'm Morrinsville hometown, let's see what Rotorua can do. Yeah,
that's always the approach that I take too. Is I only cheer for 3 teams: offense, defense, and whatever Hammertron team's playing.
Fair enough, eh? Yeah. It is. I'm really loving how much everyone is involved, and they're definitely trying to include everyone and making sure people know where they're meant to be. No one's just left hanging, so it's great from both of these teams. Both of these sides are doing awesome.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's quite interesting that we're sort of seeing a lot of sort of the way that the kind of, I guess the leadership is kind of distributed throughout the teams. Seeing where the kind of focus is, seeing who the players who are trusted to have these big moments are.
Sure. When I came into Ultimate, I've given it a go a couple of times. Definitely not for me. The athletic ability on these players is phenomenal, and it really is an amazing sport. And the fact that the skill level in their running and that stop-start is just amazing. So when these guys are doing those massive sprints from one end of the field to the other, that's athletic ability right there.
Speaking of sprints, we're about to see a few as Cole puts the pull up. Wow, it looks like a sprint to me. They just look like they're jogging. Benedicto fields early, goes to Carroll. Back to Benedicto for that 1-2. Coburn on the far sideline, looked off in favour of a near side reset. Bypasses Benedicto entirely to Mishkov. Back to Benedicto. Zone defense from Morrinsville. Furness parked up in the middle space, hunting for opportunities to help out the other players. Benedicto puts a nice curved shot up. Finds Coburn far sideline, back to Carroll in the midfield.
And that's that web again that you were talking about before, coming back to Benedicto as the middle point.
Now, I love how Rotorua are using the width of the field here. One of the big things when you're playing against a zone defense, because it's the same player in front of the disc pretty consistently, that player has to do a lot of running if you make them essentially do shuttles backwards and forwards across the field. Mishkov to Benedicto. Benedicto goes up. Full send. Good read by Beamish for the score. That's that comeback train, choo-choo, that you were talking about.
Good read by Tony there, trying to get in. Was reading the disc, but just couldn't quite get there. Here is the replay. Beautiful hands.
Nice and high, up over the top. And I mean, that's the exact flight path you want that disc to take. When you kind of recognize you've got someone who's got a huge amount of far side space in this case, and the defense is on their near side or inside shoulder, you want it to come up and over and kind of fall into space that they can use their body to control, which is what we sort of see here. Despite a great read from Frenson on that one, it's Beamish who walks away with the score.
Beautiful.
Lukupa with the pull for Rotorua. Dewhurst to Ward. Seeing a vertical stack set up for Morrinsville this time, so trying to use the channels on the near and far sideline to move the disc, having transitioned back into a horizontal as the zone defense from Rotorua closes in. Great take on that near side by Dewhurst. Back to Dewhurst in the midfield.
Siblings on that Morrinsville team.
Big aerial take for Morrinsville to keep it alive.
Oh.
Intercepted.
Beautiful.
Eaten up by Davies. Goes to Edmonds. Can they finish it here? Spears to Lukupa, who set things off with that big pull to start the point. Spears with the rundown. There it is. It's in Rotorua. But I think that might be back-to-back breaks to bring them back to within 3.
Let's see what Morrinsville does here to reset themselves and make some changes.
That was a great take by Saskia Dewhurst on that near sideline.
Lovely footwork there. Intercept. What a beautiful. Just running straight through. Read that play like that. Knew exactly what was happening. The cuts there. Running into the corner. Just don't stop running. That's the key.
Absolutely. Just a really, like, one of the benefits about a situation like that, you have this open channel in that far front corner. It's not very well defended. And it's just about putting a disc right into that space and trusting one of your players to run onto it. You can see how there was a lot of help defense there from Morrinsville. I think we had 2 additional players peeling off to try and cover that. It was one unfortunate tumble, and I think Caitlin Ward a second too late to kind of peel off and get that intervention. That's a great score there by Rotorua.
Agreed.
Touches out of bounds. Furness giving the signal to Brick. So as we said before, bringing the disc to the middle of the field, about 18 metres in front of the end zone. We're seeing that Rotorua zone defence set up yet again. Furness goes to Cole, pushes back far side to Franson. Working through the middle. A wide open Furness. Laurie to Priestley. Just outside the outstretched fingertips of Todd for the Rotorua defense. Goes to Cole, back to Furness. Working through the middle of the zone. As we talked earlier, they're leaving that open space for those quick shots.
And that was a point.
Able to close. Morrinsville on the double digits now, having broken that barrier. 10 over Rotorua's 6.
62 minutes on the clock. It's a lot of running time. This is what I mean about that athletic ability, eh? They've just got to keep going. And it's one of those sports where we saw from Rotorua before, you just got to keep running. You just can't stop. You've got to be moving into space continuously. So good on them. Well done.
Absolutely, but they only have about 13 minutes more in this game of running to do. As we mentioned, our first poll with the huge field of teams in this Division 2 championship. We're running slightly shorter games during day 1, so 75-minute games scoring to 13. So 62, 63 minutes on the clock now. They've only got 12 more to go before we hit what we'll refer to as a soft cap. If that eventuates, if Morrinsville don't manage to put away their last 3 required points before that, we'll give you a bit of a breakdown as to what that means. At the moment, we're just focusing on that final score, 13 points. Morrinsville only a few away. Rotorua with a slightly longer but not impossible path ahead.
Miss Furness, they're just giving a bit of guidance to our younger girls. That experience coming through, showing them where they need to be, what they're aiming for. Really just builds their confidence and gets them really experienced in these games. Looks like we're going to get underway.
Nice with a high angle. It's going to touch down and roll just a little bit. That little delay is going to give them an opportunity to set up whatever defensive structure they're looking for. Looks like they're going back to a match defense, trying to isolate those one-on-ones, trusting their athleticism, even in the later stages of the game. Priestley pressuring Kersey, manages to chip through. Corcoran. Oh, not quite able to get it. Kersey goes back. Just kept in by Mishkov. Puts it up. Can they find the read? Oh, a little bit too much dip on that chip, and it's going to be a turnover to give the disc back to Morrinsville. Watching that really aggressive defense by Priestley in that front corner only a couple of passes ago was really, really good to see. Supported by Furness. There was a huge amount of pressure around that disc. Great find by Rotorua to get the disc back to Kersey to open up that near side. It was a very narrow channel, but there was enough in there. And then that long shot just slightly overcooked. Wasn't going to be able to run that one down. Dewhurst puts through, but it's eaten up by Benedicto.
That's that experience, isn't it? Oh, again, so close.
Yeah, maybe just trying to take a little bit more aggressive approach than is needed when you're a few points down. Maybe a couple more safer options. Might have seen that one come away. We've seen him launch that scuba, and it's almost like he turns his head away from it to get that maximal sort of torque through the torso. But in doing so, maybe the precision starts to fall away. And in these later stages of the matches, precision is what you need.
Agreed, agreed. Here's Morrinsville down the field.
Furness through to Priestley again. Morrinsville 2 away from a win in their opening match.
It's great to see everyone shaking hands when they're coming off. It's a hard game out there.
Absolutely. I think that is one of the things that really does define the way that Ultimate is played. We talk a lot about the spirit of the game. It's almost sort of a codification or a formalization of sportspersonship. And it's really, really good to see that a lot of people take that to heart. And I think that when you've got players like Furness, you've got players like the Fransons as well, really leading from the front in that regard for Morrinsville Ultimate, really making that the kind of foundation of the way that the sport is growing in that community. It's really, really good to see.
Yeah, and he pushes it very much with the younger generation as well, and these younger intermediate and college kids. It's all about the spirit. It's fantastic. I play inline hockey just like ice hockey, but on rollerblades, very different. Spirit is kind of minimal.
Yeah. Although I suppose the benefit of roller hockey is you can't accidentally stab someone with your skates.
No, yeah, definitely.
Not for a lack of trying, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're not cutting anyone's fingers off, but you know, it's always fun to barge someone into a bit of a wall or give them a little bit of a nudge.
A little hip check never hurt anybody.
Oh, exactly. Especially being a girl, get away with a little bit more. But we won't tell the boys. That's
no, of
all
course
good.
not.
Yeah, no, so it's good.
And I suppose it helps that it's not self-officiated.
It does. It does.
So just a reminder for the folks at home, and it's been a really, really good game, a really clean game. We haven't seen, I don't think, any stoppages or calls up to this point. It's important to recognise that Ultimate is a self-officiated sport, so the referees are the players themselves. They have to take it upon themselves to learn the rules, make any calls and resolve them as, I guess, amicably and effectively as they can. There's a big pull from Dewhurst. It's going to go nice and long, deep into the Rotorua end zone. Fielded by Benedicto. Early shot up to Coburn, but the defense looking like they're applying that match pressure already in place. Big shot goes up, looking for Carroll. Fading over the far side, Beamish underneath it.
Oh!
Second touch.
Oh!
That's why we practice our tip drills, folks.
Look at that.
Off the fingertips, straight to the hands of Carroll.
And that's another thing with Ultimate, isn't it? Once it's only out once the turnover happens, once it hits the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the sort of the old lines is the disc is catchable until it hits the ground.
Yes.
And we're going to see again here, Beamish goes up. That kind of retaliatory, almost like swatting of the disc was what tipped it across to Carroll. We'll see it again here. Beautiful shot by Benedicto. I think that, not entirely sure if that was necessarily where he intended it to go.
Agreed, agreed.
But it's the kind of throw you'd take credit for regardless.
Definitely. And even the defence there from Morrinsville was amazing. Just a beautiful jump, nice high, really clean, and just unfortunate that it just went straight into Rotorua's hands and scored on that one.
Great awareness as well by Beamish, right? Making that big play, trying to get it up. It gets blocked. It gets tipped to one of your teammates. Now's the time to go. And that's why you could sort of see the way the defense was pushing towards the middle of the field and that near side. And it left that far front corner open for Beamish to just run into, unmarked. Nice, easy catch to put it away.
Yeah.
And so Morrinsville still up by 4. So the second half's been a little bit more, Mulu dominated.
Yes, yes.
Pull from Edmonds. Nice bit of wind. Fielded by Cole. To Dewhurst, supported by Franson. A zone defense again from Rotorua. Chips through. To Rowlingson. Back to Cole. The zone slowly closing the jaws. They're leaving little gaps. With the experience in this Morrinsville offensive handler set, they're able to capitalize quite well on those. Some big convincing fakes to shift the defense, opening up little windows they can chip through.
A few cuts in the middle. Just looking for that space.
Dewhurst to Dewhurst. Nice easy reset to Franson, but they're pinned down a little on the sideline. Not quite. Great attempt by Kersey, but it's Dewhurst through to Cole, pushing a cross-field sprint. Cole unmarked, available as an option. As the stall count gets high, looks back. Goes to the reset. Franson's there, unmarked. Rollingson's there. One more option. Dewhurst gets pinched off by Collingwood.
Up. Oh, nice.
And a nice toe intake to bring Morrinsville within one of the final 13th point that they need to walk away with the win.
71 minutes on the clock. Do you think we'll get there? We're going to get this last one. Here's this replay. Just out of screen as Saskia Dewhurst was open.
Yeah.
Not quite enough time there.
Yeah, it's the way. Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. You could see a beautiful take there. Collingwood pulled across to try and pick up Saskia Dewhurst on that one. You'll see it again here, that shift towards that near sideline. And then it's a case of as she pulls back into the midfield to open up that channel for Alex Dewhurst, Collingwood a little on the back foot, not able to respond the way he might have liked.
Lovely play.
Great work there.
So we've got 3 minutes on the clock. Morrinsville needs to score within this 3 minutes to get this point win, is it called?
Yeah, so yes, if they can put the next point on the board, they've won the game regardless. Now, if we hit our 75th minute and the game hasn't scored, what we do is we will finish whatever point is being played. So let's say Rotorua scores the next point and they go 12-8. We add one to the highest score, which in this case would be 13, and it's a race to 13. Now, with Morrinsville only 1 point away, the first team to hit 13 is going to be the team that wins it regardless. If the score had been, say, 10-7, and then it had gone 10-8, we'd add one, and then it would just be a straight race to 11.
Right.
So you can, particularly when you've got really close games, even low-scoring games that are hotly contested, as they start pushing towards that soft cap, becomes a huge deal. But really, really tense moment. But a great pull there from Caitlin Ward to start off this next point. Coburn to pick up. Was looking for Benedicto early. Benedicto, too busy focusing on the downfield, decides instead to reset. Big shot goes up. It's turning early. That's the turn. Morrinsville with a chance here.
That wind, though, I can feel it. It's picked up again.
It's a little blustery as well, so it's a little hard to calibrate for as a thrower. Furness early through to Franson. To Ward. Back to Furness.
Safe passes.
Austin puts it up nice and high, but Furness comes down over Carroll.
The Morrinsville bench is very excited. As you can imagine, they just need to score this.
Now Ward goes through to Franson.
Oh! It's that slippery disc. It's starting to dry out. The sun is shining. It is a beautiful day. Let's see what Rotorua can do here.
Benedicto to Carroll, to Coburn. Puts it up. Uses the line. Carroll wanting to close things out here. Has he got an option? He certainly does. I think that was Grace Windley with the score there for Rotorua to bring them back within 3. We're just about to cross over into the soft cap, but as we've just discussed, it's a race to 13 regardless. Now, it's a tough spot for Rotorua to be in. They are starting this point on defense. They don't have to, like Morrinsville do not have to do anything to earn the disc.
Yes.
That's the key thing. They're starting on offense here. One final push here, one aggressive play, one well-constructed set piece is going to put this game away. And there goes the hooter to tell us we've crossed that 75-minute mark.
So just keep playing, no timeout or anything like that. Just
Correct.
keep playing. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Nice. And I've noticed on that Morrinsville line, like you said, they do need it. They could just go hard, but they're sticking with their same lines. They haven't changed anything. They're keeping it pretty similar to what they had.
And I think part of that might be leveraging some of the experience that they've got on that line. Some of the older or more senior players who have been in this kind of situation a lot. And so it's, you know, particularly when you're starting out in your career and you're feeling very, very gung-ho, it's easy to be in the situation. Yeah, I just put it away. But that's where those mistakes start to creep in. So just by having some of those old heads on the line probably helps a little bit to just keep that temper low.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Cooler heads prevailing and all that conventional wisdom. But it just does a good job for making sure that Morrinsville can capitalise on this opportunity and put this point away.
100%. We saw Furnace there just having a chat with them. Let's see what happens.
Roller pull from Rotorua. Toe touch from Priestley's picked up by Cole. Rollingson working with Cole. Priestley coming back into Phil.
Lots of guidance on the sideline there from Morrinsville as well.
Zone defense once again from Rotorua. But without some of those quicker movers that we've seen, that consistent chemistry that we've seen, that zone defense looks like those gaps maybe aren't able to be as exploited as easily as we've seen. Cole to Rowlingson. Back to Cole. Priestley open on the near sideline. Engaged. Looked off. Mishkov too aggressive on the defense to let the disc come near sideline. Goes to McCoy. Back to Rowlingson. To Cole again. Priestley to Cole. They're out here playing a game of Simon Says, and Simon says, get me the disc at every opportunity. To McCoy. Back to Cole for the score. Oh, a one-man play.
Beautiful.
Far out, my goodness. What a way to finish that game with a nice little dominator set piece. Really, really aggressive. I mean, and to be fair, it's the same sort of play style that we saw a lot from Rotorua when Benedicto would have done the exact same thing in that situation. So well done by Simon Cole to kind of quarterback that offensive structure there. Did a really, really good job to put that one away. We're going to see again, Rowlingson goes to Cole. We've got Priestley open and unmarked here. But it goes to McCoy with a nice chip through to Cole to finish that one off. And that is going to be the end of our first game of for Field 1 anyway. Keep in mind, with 2 fields being covered for this tournament, there is a lot of ultimate action for you to catch up with over the weekend. But well done to Morrinsville. Commiserations to Rotorua. We know who you were cheering for, Lucy. But until then, folks, with a huge thanks to our sponsors and the team here at ULTI.TV. My name is Blair Monroe.
And I'm Lucy Henner.
And we will be back with you very soon.
ULTI.TV.